How are you all? All right. In my ancient language, Atu Inanika. Good day, ancestors. We will begin this portion of the interaction with a little bit of a follow-up to what has already been said briefly, with the idea of the different games as analogies for the different levels of consciousness in your reality. Now, many of you may not play the game of chess, and as we said, that's fine. But the idea is that whatever game you choose to play, whatever you are most attracted to, understand that the symbolic analogy of the particular game you are attracted to in many ways is going to be representative of how you view life, your relationship to life, your relationship to others. So while you take whatever time you wish to take to think about that and let that sink in so that you can use the game you're most attracted to as an analogy for your life and allow that analogy, allow that game and the rules of that game to help clarify many of the things going on about your particular approach to life. Looking at it that way may provide some illumination for you about certain things, certain ways you go about things in life that can aid and assist you in playing that game of life. At the same time, we do encourage you to also stretch a little bit by at least making an attempt to play a different kind of game now and then and see what other new portions of yourself you may have been aware of or unaware of may come up for you from a different perspective by playing a different game. Seeing even the things you are familiar with from a slightly different point of view and discovering things you were unaware of by playing the new game with different pieces than you may be familiar with. Using this analogy and actually playing these games physically, as we have already suggested, may allow you to really connect much more strongly, to really bond vibrationally with different aspects of yourself that, again, you may be somewhat familiar with, but may not necessarily be getting a complete picture of, a whole picture of. And this meditational technique, this analogous technique, can serve you to give you a broader perspective of the way you approach life, the way you go about things, the way you think, the way you behave, what you believe, how you feel. So use these analogies, use these techniques as a permission slip to give yourself permission to be more of who you are in whatever way, shape, or form seems most attractive to you. Now, letting this sink in, we will once again ask, in what way may we be of service to you with the questions and answers, or if you wish, in our ancient language, Atu Iliadashta, what reflections may we provide? You may begin with your questions if you wish.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day. Speak up and be bold so that all may hear what you have to share.
I had two questions.
Yes.
The first one would be if you could explain the concept of maturity.
Maturity. Mm-hmm. All right. And the second?
Is there such thing as soulmates?
Let us begin with the second. Is there such a thing as soulmates? Yes and no. No in the sense that it isn't always what you think it is in the way that many of you define that idea, and yes, in that sometimes it is, but it is also many other things. In other words, it is, in some circumstances, true that different individuals have created for themselves a particular vibrational match in the idea of another soul. Sometimes that is actually even a split off of the same oversoul. Doesn't always have to be, but it can be. But the idea of a soulmate in that context is still, vibrationally speaking, that soul that will, for whatever time period, best reflect to the other person in the relationship whatever it is that person needs to know about themselves to become the fullest representation of their being that they possibly can, and that person reflects the same back to the other. Thus, in that context, while it may be possible to set up very specific interactions and relationships in life that are representative of what you classically call a soulmate energy, you can also understand that from the definition we have given you, anyone that you interact with at any given moment is a type of soulmate, because they're the person that needs to be in your life at that moment. They're the person standing in front of you at that moment, reflecting to you at that moment the things you need to know at that moment to be your fullest self, if you use it that way. So in a sense, a soulmate can even be someone that you may call, quote unquote, an enemy. Because they may be putting you in a position of having to look at certain things within yourself, face certain things, examine certain things within yourself that actually ultimately serves you in the best possible positive way. It's up to you to use every relationship in a soulmate fashion in order to extract from it all of the energy and information that will actually truly serve you to become your fullest self, and simultaneously reflect back to the other all the things that will allow them also, all the opportunities that will allow them also to choose to be their fullest self. And when you use relationships for that purpose, in that way, as reflections to allow, to support all others in the relationship, to give them the best possible example and the best possible opportunity to become their fullest self without condition of what that may mean, then you are functioning in that relationship, to answer your first question, in the most mature way possible. Does that answer both questions for you? Maturity is the ability to truly see, to truly serve, to truly know what is going on for the best of all concerned, and to trust and allow the synchronicity in your life to unfold in a way that you know is actually serving everyone best, including you. So that there are no need for the idea of desperation. There are no needs for the idea of neediness. There are no needs for the idea of imposing your ideas on someone else or trying to control anyone, because you know you're already self-empowered, and you already know that the greatest power requires the gentlest touch. And thus then, when you force something on someone in any way, shape, or form, you're actually saying you don't believe in the power of what you say you believe in. So the idea of maturity is to have a broader perspective and an understanding of the nature and structure of existence and your relationship to it and within it and to each other, knowing you are all connected and all reflections like mirrors for each other, to allow each of you to become who you are as fully as you possibly can. And that will create a world of mature adults. Does that make some sense to you?
Yes, definitely.
Does that help?
Yes.
Why, thank you.
Thank you.
Greetings, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
I wanted to ask you about the use of magnesium stearate as a filler in nutraceuticals and what the general and specific pros and cons are of that.
In that context, do you believe it is the most organic and natural thing that you can use?
No.
Well, there's your answer then, isn't it?
Okay, excellent. Simple.
Now, this does not mean that other things cannot sometimes be representative of different people's belief systems, for different things will work for different people in different ways based on what they believe to be true and what they believe will work. Nevertheless, there is a general idea based on what we talked about earlier about the general collective level of the game, the general rules of the game, that all the things you truly actually need for support have already been provided for you automatically on the game board by the Earth itself. And when you have a fuller understanding of what all those things are, you will realize that you don't necessarily need in every circumstance to create something artificial. The idea of extending yourself in that way can be a natural extension, but the idea is also for the purpose of refining your belief systems to the point, ultimately, where you know that it will take very little of what is already provided for you in a natural way to suffice to support you in all the ways that you need to be supported in your life. Does that clarify the idea?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Is there anything else you wish to discuss?
Yes, if you could expand and clarify on the understanding of the activation of mitochondrial DNA and how it connects to the 6th generation of hybrid children.
The mitochondrial DNA is in some ways paramount to the idea of the continuation of your race, the hybrid race, in a way, because ultimately your world will become what we have termed the 6th hybrid race. And the mitochondrial DNA is of paramount importance in making sure that there will be sufficient compatibility in your DNA structures into what you call the future for the transformations that need to take place in your species to take place to allow you to become what might be termed hyperhuman. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
I want to say how much I love and appreciate you.
Oh, well, thank you. Our unconditional love to you as well. May we ask you a question?
Thank you. Yes.
What game are you most strongly attracted to?
Pinochle.
Oh.
Cards.
Yes. Why?
Because I've spent years playing with my mother.
Oh, all right. So it has that association for you.
Yes.
All right. Any other reason why that particular form of game?
It's one of the few I play.
What does it allow you to express that you feel you could not express otherwise? All of you, of course, can apply these questions to yourselves, whether we ask you this question directly or not. You can be examining this as this conversation unfolds. What are the things that allow you to express that you feel other games would not?
I can't answer that, but what it does express...
Oh, yes, you can.
I'm sorry. I have fun with my mother, and it's a communication for us.
Communication.
Yes.
So it allows you to be clearer in your communications, more
Yes.
expressive in your communications, yes?
Yes.
All right. Do you have an analogy for how to use that ability in the game more in your life? Does it allow you to apply that ability from the game to your life?
Not as I can see it right now.
Do you believe that you can begin to utilize that analogy in your life more by allowing yourself to believe you are, in every circumstance in your life, playing pinochle with your mother? Yes,
Could
no,
you say,
maybe?
Maybe. Say more about that.
Are you willing to give it a shot, as you say?
Absolutely.
All right. The whole idea we are saying here is that when you understand what game you are most attracted to play, allow yourself to understand that in every interaction in your life, you are playing that game. So look at what the game does for you when you're playing the game in the way that is most fun and most expanding, and understand that if you thus then interact in all circumstances in your life from the same energy, from the same perspective, from the same ability, you will achieve much of the same excitement, much of the same expansion, much of the same clarity, much of the same ability in all other areas of your life, if you see your life as one big giant version of the game you're most attracted to. Make sense?
Yes, thank you.
So everyone is your mother. And you are playing pinochle with every one of them, every version of your mother. You understand?
Yes.
Now, does that help you a little bit?
Yes, it does.
All right. What did you wish to discuss?
Actually, the question I had kind of went away because as you were talking about the game of pinochle, I realized that my mother does play strategically,
Yes.
and I just play to play. So
No,
I'm
all
looking at the overarching kind of how
May I
live.
ask you a question?
Yes.
Is playing just to play also a strategy?
Yes.
All right. Then you play strategically too.
Okay, thank you.
You understand?
Yes.
This is how to look at the game from different perspectives.
Yes.
Yes?
Thank you.
Does that help you?
Yes.
All right. Anything else?
No, I think I'm clear.
Oh, all right. Well, thank you.
Thank you, Bashar.
Please understand that when we say playing strategically, we do not mean in any way, shape, or form to imply that you are being deceptive in a negative way. It is simply the idea of understanding the true relationship in the things that you have relationships with and maximizing the potential of the relationship in all directions for all people involved. That is playing strategically.
More if you do. You will enjoy everything more if you do. Let go of the things that are not you. Let go of the things you don't know and don't need to know right now. For you will know them when you do need to know them. As the energy on your planet accelerates, as you allow yourself more and more glimpses, more and more experiences, more and more opportunities to experience the knowing state, which is, as we pointed out, as simple as easy as saying, I am. The more you allow that knowing state to permeate all of your life, every situation, every circumstance, no matter how seemingly mundane, no matter how seemingly small, doesn't matter. The more you do that, I guarantee you, the more you will suffer when you don't do that. Now, if that isn't some incentive, I don't know what is. I do not do it to scare you. I do not say it to make you afraid. We say it to let you know you are truly free to live in that knowing state and to live in it freely enough to know that you don't need to know everything all at once. Just what you need at that moment. We do not wish you to suffer. You do not wish you to suffer unless you do. But it's your choice. You don't have to believe us. You don't need to believe us. But you need to decide for yourselves what state you prefer. And you need to decide for yourself that it's easy to create that state. I am. The dots on the paper. The higher airplane. That's where you live. That's where you live. In that mansion, that gorgeous, beautiful, creative, shining, sparkling mansion. You do not need to live in the squalor of beliefs that do not serve you. If you choose to do so, understand that you're choosing to do so. There are no exceptions. But you don't need to do so. You can be in knowing. You can. Because I have just shown you. It's as easy as I am. As soon as you say that, as soon as you remember that, you are in a knowing state. There is no reason and no excuse that says, I can't create the knowing state. Because it is too simple to do. So if you say, I can't get to the knowing state, I guarantee you this, from this point forward, we won't believe you. Say it out loud. I am. I am. It is an absolute fact. You didn't have to repeat that. But thank you for doing so. Shows you are in the moment. because it's true. It is an absolute fact. If you want to say it out loud, by all means, it's an absolute fact. That I am. There is absolutely nothing that can contradict this. Nothing exists that can contradict this. If you are, then you are. That's it. Isness is your only quality. It can become nothing else. Isness, the quality itself, can become nothing else. Yes, within creation, you can experience becoming many things, but all of them still exhibit isness. They all still exist. You still exist. No matter what you become, you still exist. Existence is your basic quality. That can't change. It is the first law. It doesn't change. It is. It is. It is. It is. It is. You are. You are. You are. You are. I am. I am. I am. I am. I am. Even if it were possible for you to suddenly not exist at all, you'd never know it, so why bother caring? Why spend time worrying about it? You would never know it had happened. But if you do exist, I guarantee, because all that is guarantees by its very nature, if you exist, there is only now, so you must always exist, because there is only now. There's only now in which to exist. And if you exist in the only now there is, you always will, because there's only one now. That's it. So here you are. You're part of the club. Lifetime, 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 lifetime to infinity membership. Free of charge. Forever. Start taking advantage of membership privileges. It's up to you. Stay in your knowingness. It's up to you. But now you know it is simplicity itself to be in that state. There is no rationale whatsoever that will make sense anymore that says that state cannot be achieved, because it is the actual easiest state to achieve, because it's the most basic state to achieve. So start from there, let it be obvious, and let the obviousness filter into every aspect of your life, and let it be all right to not know what you don't know. That's all it takes. That's all it takes to have absolute serenity in your life. On every level, for everything. Be in the now. Be in the knowing. Do you think it's an accident that in your language the words now and know are so close in structure? Be in the now and you will know. Be in knowing and you will always be in the now. Always. It's that simple. What is your time frame? We know you enjoy conferring about time. We will give you an opportunity to do so. You mean before the break? Did that make you feel good? Have you come to a consensus now about the difference between time and timing?
I was referring to the entire session, but I didn't realize we were having another break, so we're in agreement.
I see. So the same event produced two different perceptions. Thank you for being an illustration of our first demonstration. Let us take 3 more questions.
Bashar, this is a question from a News for the Soul listener.
Oh, all right.
And it's a compound question.
A
I'm gonna put these,
compound question.
yeah, I'm going to put these together.
Yes.
It says, okay, I can talk the talk, but why is it so hard to walk the walk concerning faith when the chips are down and things aren't going my way? Am I just deluding myself? And please explain where the line is, the limits of what is actually possible through the power of faith or knowing for real in this dimension of reality.
To some degree, this question has already been answered. The idea simply is that any delusion that exists is the delusion that the negative belief systems hold sway over the positive ones. So when you say the chips are down, turn them up, because you have the ability to do so. It's not deluding yourself to turn them up, but the irony is you don't think you're deluding yourself when you turn them down. The idea is, as we have recently discussed also, yes, of course, you live in what might be described as a relatively limited reality, and of course, certain things will not be apropos to manifest in your reality. It doesn't mean that there really are limits per se, but there certainly are agreed upon parameters that will make sense according to your local reality. So you will usually abide by them. But with parameters, you have free rein to go far and wide in choosing anything that represents your creativity and joy. To put it simply, if there is really something you're passionate about in your reality, it really truly represents your true passion in that reality, it would make no sense for you to not be capable of manifesting it in your reality. Therefore, anything you're truly passionate about, you probably wouldn't be passionate about if it were not possible to manifest in your reality.
That sounds wonderful.
We think so. Oh, what? We know so.
Oh, that's great. Well, thanks very much, Bashar.
You are welcome. Any other questions?
Good afternoon, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
When we speak of the common time-space continuum, when
Yes.
you do,
Yes.
you speak of it as a three-dimensional continuum of space and time, time not being treated as a fourth dimension.
Well, we're just using your colloquial vernacular. We understand that from your scientist's point of view, there are three dimensions of space and one of time, making you, in a sense, a fourth dimensional reality.
Oh.
But we also understand there are many different kinds of terminologies that exist in your reality about dimension and density, and it can, to some degree, be somewhat confusing.
Understood. Einstein does refer to the fourth dimension as an imaginary dimension of space.
Yes.
Now, understanding, as I thought I had, that time and space are inseparable in my experience,
Yes.
I come across what they call M theory,
Yes.
which arrives, short version, at an 11th dimensional model
Yes.
in which they have 10-dimensional universes
Yes.
floating in an ocean
Yes.
of an 11th dimension of time.
Yes.
And that sounds to me like we have now made a new kind of time, which is absolute, linear, and just like the kind of notion of time that was pre-Einsteinian. And I'm having some desire to put these notions of time together or relate them.
I see. What your scientists are actually discovering is that there are levels to the concept. We sort of discussed this before when we said that anything outside the one does create some sense of, quote-unquote, space-time referential positioning. But there are varying degrees of this. There are certain levels of this. And what they have simply come across is they have reached an understanding that there is another level above physical reality where that kind of so-called barrier, that arbitrary barrier, also exists. I'll put it another way. We have often said, and this again may seem like an arbitrary representation, but you will understand the analogy, we believe, that above a certain frequency level, what you call the speed of light, that defines the border, so to speak, of your physical space-time reality. But there are things that exist at higher frequencies than that are not part of your dimensional experience. But even that domain has its own upper limit beyond which you then recognize you've shifted to yet again another domain, and another domain, and another domain, and another domain. So the theory that your scientists are working with now is simply a mathematical representation of a higher domain's upper limit, where it would once again seem to be the kind of impositional structure that is similar to the kind of impositional structure you experience in your typical third-dimensional space-time reality. Is this making any sense?
Oh, yes.
All right.
So it's not so much that I need to take the physical picture as to understand that this is an expression of a mathematical reaching.
Yes.
Now, I have, and I'm going to ask you to critique or whatever this notion. It is my understanding that in a continuum of any number of dimensions, it takes one more to know it.
Yes.
So that,
as your Einstein said, you cannot solve a problem from within the state of mind that the problem was created. You cannot see the forest for the trees. You have to be beyond the forest to see the forest.
So that if it takes 10 dimensions, for example, for all there is.
Yeah, knowing that that's just an analogy.
Yes.
All right.
Then I would be the 11th dimension contemplating it objectively.
Yes.
And that is not essentially a sound way to hold the idea.
Yes. It is one way to begin to work with those concepts, by always understanding that in order to perceive a concept in its entirety, you actually, so to speak, have to be beyond it, which automatically implies a bigger reality.
Are you suggesting that the assignment of a finite number of dimensions to all that is inappropriate?
It is not that it's inappropriate. It is appropriate for how you may want to work with certain concepts. But it will never be an accurate representation because infinity will always trump the finite.
Mm-hmm. So whatever I make of that notion is a limitation.
Yes, but it may be a very plausible or workable one for what you may need to apply it to.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
I know that I have chosen to suffer this weekend.
Oh, all right. And why did you choose that?
I have been experiencing a challenge to my faith.
Yes.
And this weekend has brought me from despair and anger to hope.
All right.
And I was listening to what you've been saying, and I'm getting closer back to faith. But I was
Are you going beyond faith to knowing as well?
No. And I was wondering if there was anything more that you would like to tell me to bring me to a stronger faith and towards
I am not
knowing.
attempting to bring you to a stronger faith. I'm attempting to bring you beyond faith to knowing. Did you do the I am exercise?
I did.
Do you understand that when you say I am, that that's an absolute fact?
I do.
Then you know. It's that simple. Did you not believe us when we said it was that simple? Is that part of the challenge?
The challenge for me is when you say circumstances don't matter.
Yes. Do you
That's
want me
my
to
challenge.
explain that?
I want to know how I can believe that and demonstrate it.
Oh, thank you. We often have said, though we understand how this first sounds in your language, we don't mean it negatively, that the greatest gift creation has given is that life is meaningless. There is no built-in meaning to situations or circumstances. They're just neutral props. I'll put it another way. You are aware, to some degree as we demonstrated earlier, that any given situation can actually produce even opposite results, yes?
Yes.
Or opposite perceptions, yes?
Yes.
All right. You can look at any situation and you could see a positive outcome or you could see a negative outcome of the same situation, yes?
Yes.
Well, that shows you that no situation's meaning is absolutely built in. It's determined by how you see it. So if you decide that a situation will have a positive effect on you, that's the effect it will have. If you decide it will have a negative effect on you, that's the effect it will have. The situation doesn't come with a built-in parameter that says it's going to affect you positively or negatively. That's in your hands to determine. So nothing has built-in meaning, and therefore that's why we say, The circumstances don't actually matter. It's the state of being that matters, because it's the state of being that allows you to determine what meaning you will assign to those circumstances that are fundamentally neutral. Does that make sense?
But if someone's in harm's way,
Yes.
how can you look at that in a positive way?
All right, thank you. There is a difference between observing that something is mechanically negative or mechanically positive. Positive being segregative. In that sense, the negative being segregative, the positive being integrative. You understand?
No.
You don't?
No.
All right. When we talk about positive and negative, we're not talking about subjective good and bad. We're talking about an actual mechanical description of energy. That which is negative in that sense is that which segregates, separates, shall we say, isolates, disconnects, forms experiences of disconnection. That which is positive forms experiences of integration, unification, bonding, oneness. Do you follow that?
Yes.
All right. The idea being that if you operate on a fear-based definitional system, more often than not, you will experience more emotions of disconnection and greater fear. Thus, you are seeing that the mechanism is simply generating an expanded version of itself by perpetuating more doubt, more disconnection, more fear. Does that make sense?
Very.
More misalignment within your belief systems from your core. The fear itself is the expression of negatively aligned belief systems. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So, the idea being, when you see somebody operating in a negative way, or when you see a situation that you are saying someone is being harmed in, you can recognize the mechanisms that might be involved may be negatively based. Nevertheless, you can also recognize, as you can in many situations in life, that that being that person, while not necessarily excusing the negative behavior, might also allow others to learn something positive from it, or might give someone else a positive effect. I'll put a very simple example before you. We understand that it is negative when someone abuses another person. That's a negative act, perpetuated by negative beliefs. It is segregative, it is isolating, it is disruptive, it is disconnective. Nevertheless, if you came upon the situation where you're seeing someone being abused, and you come to their assistance and help them, then you are putting positive energy into it. And if you say, in seeing this, I am now inspired passionately to do what it takes to make sure this doesn't happen again on our planet, anywhere, then you are going to generate a positive effect out of what essentially started as a negative experience. Do you follow that?
Yes.
So it's how you use it. And that's why we simply say circumstances don't matter. Not to discount them, but to let you know it's what meaning you decide to give them that determines what effect you can extract from them and apply to your reality. Remember, everyone that is having an experience is fundamentally an eternal, infinite spirit. You follow me? Ultimately, everyone is just fine. Everyone, I'll put it colloquially, everyone goes to heaven, no matter what they've done, because that's the only place there is. The idea is that you are created in unconditional love, and that's the only place there is to go back to. Unconditional love. Now, individual beings may learn that they didn't necessarily want to operate in a certain way because it may have created an experience for them that is more negatively oriented than positively oriented. And they may learn to do something about that from that experience. That's up to them. But the point is that when we say circumstances don't matter, we're simply attempting to let you know that they are fundamentally neutral and that you can decide how they will actually affect your reality, what you will do with that experience. Just because the experience may start negatively doesn't mean that the only experience you can get from it is a negative one. You can actually use it to learn a lesson and actually create a very positive reality from that negative experience. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Also, when we say circumstances don't matter, but only states of being do, we are making a play on words of the term matter. Circumstances aren't what materialize your reality. It's your state of being that materializes reality, experience for you. The circumstances are simply neutral props that allow you to decide whether you are, by reflection, in alignment or not. Does that help?
Very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hello again, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
All right, I'm curious now.
Oh, all right.
From what you sense right now,
Yes.
can human evolution lead to certain super abilities becoming more real?
Yes.
For example, radical, spontaneous change in physical form?
Yes.
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 Oh, okay. Flight?
Yes.
Spontaneous regeneration?
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
There are actually already people on your planet, though they are not many in number, that can already do these things.
Oh.
You typically call them shamans.
Okay. Cool.
There's that temperature again.
Yeah. It's very nice. Thank you very
Does that
much.
help you?
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. You may all at this time take a short break. We will resume contact with a story. Arnold say, let us continue this transmission with the following story. Relax, become comfortable, and let us begin in your traditional way, once upon a time. There was, many of your years ago, but yet to you, still many of your years in the future, a world which was fashioned for the purpose of continuing a civilization that had brought itself to the brink of destruction. And this world was fashioned so they could have a second chance at perpetuating their culture, their civilization. These are the ones who made us. The ones who made us found your parallel reality and other parallel realities, and fashioned from their own genetic material and yours several hybrid species of which we are one. I began my incarnation in my civilization 137 of your years ago, but yet still 2,700 years in your future. As I was born in my society and allowed to be telepathically connected, I did not forget my connection to my spirit, my higher mind, my oversoul, in which was made an arrangement, an agreement, wherein I would have also what to me is a past life on your world, which is the channel before you. And in that arrangement was set out certain parameters for how that communication would occur, would evolve. And it was taught to me at age 3 that I would contact my past self also at age 3 and form the bridge and the link that would connect us through this life. And I was taught the way of doing these things. For I knew and I remembered that this would be my expression, my passion, to open gateways and open doorways for the consciousnesses of those on the threshold of new awakening and new realities and new experiences. And I was filled with great joy to realize my becoming. And as my orbits around my central star progressed, and I became what you know as the 7th year of life, thus then was I also introduced to another who was to be a counterpart in this endeavor, who, as a female of my society, would also be an initiator of the opening of the gate and the opening of the door. And as such, I would eventually take upon myself the appellation that you have come to know as Bashar. So she would take on the appellation known as Anima. And in this way, together we would work to initiate contact and open many doors so that those civilizations with whom we would interact would eventually be those who would join the alliance of worlds. And in this way did we grow and train and learn and explore together. And before my time, there was the creation by those that made us of a repository of knowledge on our world. And not only upon our world, which in our ancient language is Ethathani, place of living light, but on all the other worlds they had fashioned and also placed thereupon other hybrid races, each of whom would play a part in a variety of ways of opening up remembrance, contact, and continuance with the ancestors, which are you, Enani, in our ancient language, the ancestors, the ancient ones, who are in that sense from whom we are made. We are in that sense all the hybrids, your extension and your children, but each plays a different role in the remembrance and rejoining of family. We play our part in initiation, but there are those who will be the first to make open contact with you, who have begun to show their ships to you, as we have named them, those encounters you have come to know as the Phoenix Lights, being representative of one such ship of that group who shall be the first, and are now through us allowed to represent that as we are Ethithani and you are Anani, they are the Shaloniah, which means those who will come first. The Shaloniah are our cousins, our brethren, and your immediate children, from those experiences you have labeled abduction on your planet, which is for the further perpetuation of the species of those who made us. Your counterpart humans in a parallel reality who have mutated beyond the recognition of the human form, and in so doing prevented themselves from continuing in the same manner as which you do through reproduction. But in contacting their parallel selves, of which you are parts of the same oversoul, to, shall we say, initiate the idea of contact through what you have called the abductions, did form bonds that were unexpected in their oversouls to allow them to glean and glimmer a new sense of emotionality and the potential of what you can become as a parallel reality that can take a path unlike the path they took. They recognize that you are similarly heading down the same road of destruction, but know that for you there is a fork that they did not take. And in so creating, the hybrid races, such as ourselves, did put upon us the task of assisting our ancestors, the Anani, to aid and assist in waking you up as you travel down that path, so that by the time it comes time to arrive at that fork in the road, you will take the one they did not take. And you will take the one that will allow you to continue. And you will take the one that will allow you to rejoin the family that they have taken from you in perpetuating themselves. The family that shall return, the first of which being the Shaloniah. As they return, as they open contact, they will bring gifts of knowledge and awareness. They will remind you of your true histories. Not history in the singular, but histories. All the way back to the origins of the DNA that has plied its way through space, finally arriving in the solar system you call your own, and setting up incarnations on the planet that has been destroyed, Marduk, on the planet that has been destroyed, Mars, on the planet that has yet to be seen as whether it will live or die, the Earth, but which we know you will continue on with. For we would not at this point be speaking with you had you not taken the fork that would allow for the family reunion. We thank you for taking the fork, and even though we know these are still what you would recognize as the dark days of confusion, when it does not always seem as if you are moving toward the light, from our perspective, the gift that you have given to us of life allows us to reflect our knowing back to you that that is the road you are on, for we are on it with you. And we will never, ever leave your side. Though we may present ourselves in various ways at various times and express our beingness with you in a variety of endeavors that shall take different forms, that shall transform, always it will be with the essence of ourselves left within that endeavor that shall continue side by side with you, the Anani, our ancestors. For we thank you for the gift of life, and I thank you for my experience on my world and on yours simultaneously. I am enriched, and we are all enriched by each and every experience you allow us to have of you. For we not only discover more of ourselves on our own world, in our own reality, but we discover more of ourselves through you, through the aspects of you that are within us, as your ancestors, as your descendants, as your children. Fear not. Worry not. You will become what you desire to be. For we see you as you are in our time. And in our time, you are among the stars. And you know who you are. And in our time, there is another form of life on earth, learning its lessons, creating its experiences. But you will leave behind a few things they will ponder, and they will wonder about you and where you went. And in spirit, you will guide them. Even as in body, you will explore other worlds and assist others as we assist you. Other star systems evolving, other cultures evolving. And you will contact them much as we have contacted you. And you will be there entities and make them wonder what lies beyond. And you will bring them up the ladder with all of us as you take your place as a full-fledged member of the Interstellar Alliance. That gathering which together synchronistically expands, enriches all who participate, all who harmonize within it. Because the core is the freedom to be the fullest individual and to learn that by being such, that this is what creates the harmony of unity. That diversity and the strengthening of your diversity, your true nature, is what allows for the harmony of the unification to express itself perfectly and allows for continued expansion within all that is. We share with you our beating heart, for it is with the unconditional love of all that is that we speak with you and that we remind you to know yourselves fully. One moment, one moment, one moment, one moment, one moment, one moment. Look to your Arizona area in your year of 2010. There shall be another opportunity for contact with the Shaloniah. Look to your Arizona area in your year of 2010. There shall be another opportunity for contact with the Shaloniah. In your year of 2008, you shall have an opportunity to set in motion the circumstances in your society that will allow for the initial recognition to occur in 2010. In 2012, there shall be, in a variety of what you call sacred sites, another opportunity for recognition of the Shaloniah. 5 years hence from then, what you would call your year of 2017, there shall be the first broad awakenings of the memories of contact that has occurred in and around various cities. People will awaken to dreams that are memories. There will be, at first, psychological confusion at this, but by your year of 2020, the dreams will explain themselves sufficiently so that all of these that remember will communicate with all others that recall. And there will be the establishment of communication vehicles, centers, sites, on your internet for those that remember the encounters that will reveal themselves in the dreams. After your year of 2025, there will then begin a series of limited open contacts in isolated areas, predetermined, pre-selected, pre-chosen on your planet. In and around your year of 2030, there will be preparations for large-scale open contact in your year of 2033. These events are as we read your energy now. You have the ability in your year of 2008 to put exactly this timeline in motion. You also have the ability to extend this timeline depending on what you do in your year of 2008. It is in your hands now more than ever before. Begin open dialogue. Begin requests of open discussion of what your government knows of extraterrestrial existence. Strongest opportunities that exist in 2008 for the change of your American government. Infuse that change with recognition not only of what must accelerate to aid and assist the environment of your world, but simultaneously with the idea of contact with higher, different, other intelligence. Begin in whatever way is representative of your passion, these dialogues, this infusion, these ideas. Use your imagination. Come from the knowing you. Do not be afraid of the dream. Do not be afraid of the dream. Do not be afraid of the dream. The dream is what will awaken you. That is the paradox. Dare to have the dream that will awaken you. Know yourself. And as you know yourself and give off more of the frequency of your true essential nature, the Shaloniah shall recognize you by that sign and shall gravitate toward those they must meet when the time comes, when the reunion happens. This is simply our opportunity to share these ideas with you, to share this possibility of unfoldment with you. One moment, one moment, one moment. Mommy, Daddy, we will soon no longer be just in your dreams. Mommy, Daddy, if you will have us, we will live side by side on a new world that will be both your and our home. We will be in your dreams. Good night, Mommy. Good night, Daddy. We will see you soon. One moment. Your world is preparing to experience a level of unconditional love in the near future unprecedented on your planet. Even in ancient times with other civilizations that were far more connected, far more in remembrance of their connection to spirit, never before on earth have you gone through the darkness to the light in this way, and the remembrance shall be profound by having taken that path. And the love, once regenerated, shall never be lost again. And in 1,000 of your years, you will no longer incarnate at all as humans on your world, but will, as we said, leave it for others to use for their own journeys, their own experiences, their own discoveries of self, but you will guide them, you will aid them, you will be their spirits, you will be their entities. You will be the ones to whom they turn for guidance. This is your legacy, even as it is wrapped up tightly with ours. For we are one family. And as family, we are inseparable. We love you. All of you. Each of you. Forever and ever and ever. Doggy toys. We are going to remind you now to know yourselves. Remember the simple things we have shown you here. The simple ways, the I am, to be in knowing, the dot on the paper. That's all it takes. Know what you know. You don't need to know what you don't know right now. That is sufficient for you to be all you need to be in this moment. Enjoy yourselves as we enjoy you. Once again, take a deep breath. Let it out. Take another deep breath. Let it out and let all the anxieties go. No worries, no anxiousness. Take another deep breath. And hold it, and hold it, and hold it. And as you let it out, release. And say out loud, I am. And that's all I need to be. And so it is. We will extend to each of you, at this time in perfect timing, our deepest, heartfelt, unconditional love for the co-creation of this interaction. And simply we remind you that no matter in what form it comes, there are more surprises ahead, more excitement around the bend. Your imagination is limitless. Let it be your guide. And it will always lead you into the perfect place and the perfect time and the perfect surprise to discover more of your knowing self. And we will see you in and in between your dreams. Our unconditional love to you, and good day. How did it go?